So instead of raising, I think there's an echo. Instead of raising your hands, you can just put your questions in the chat so that like others can answer it in some time.
Yeah.
We can start. Let's start now.
Okay. So hello everyone. So I am Adarsh Tiwari, and today we are gathered here for a session, and which is zero to hero conquering SD interviews at MAANG. So the basic agenda of the session is how you can prepare for your upcoming SD interviews in a best way possible. Okay. So let's suppose you are preparing for a company's interview. Hmm. So let's suppose if you are preparing for a company's interview, there may be chances if you are preparing for the company's interview and 70-80% of the time you are not getting selected. So I am telling you the tips and tricks that you can use by which you can increase your selection potential by a significant margin. Some people are raising the hands. Hmm.
Yes, you could put it in the chat, Parth, so that we don't break the flow of the session.
Yeah. And is there anyone in the session who doesn't understand Hindi? So we'll take the language of the session in English, both Hindi and English then. If anyone who doesn't understand Hindi, then we'll take it in English only.
I think there are a few people others. We could probably conduct it majorly in English if
Okay.
possible.
Okay.
Both.
Okay. Mostly we'll cover in English. Okay. So we'll start the session from here. So I think I'll start from the poll itself. And I just want to know what are the people in the session that are joined so that I can take a better session for you all. So I just want to know what are your current experience and what is your target company and profession and all. So what I'll do is I'll release some quick polls and you just have to vote it, and after that I'll get a fair idea. So what are the people in the session that are present, and accordingly we'll flow the session in that way. Okay, is that works? Sure. So yes, Rajat, I'll take your question. No problem. I am releasing a poll. Are you guys able to see a poll? Please vote it.
You will, if you are on your laptop, you will find the poll section in the activities icon of the meeting. You can answer it there. Else, if you're not able to find it, you can also answer it in the chat. So Selvam, if you're not able to find it, you can probably put it in the chat. If you are on your phone, you can just click on the three dots, and in clicking on those three dots, you will find activities. On clicking and clicking on that, you will find the poll section. Else, you all can also put it in the chat.
Okay, so majority are the students here, fresher. Only one is working professional. Please, guys, vote faster.
Others, I think for the ones who are not able to find it, it would be great if you can just repeat the question so that they can probably answer it in the chat.
Okay, okay. So the first poll is what is your current experience? And the option is if you are a student, write student. If you are a fresher and you are targeting your first job, then write fresher. And if you are a working professional, let's suppose you are working in a company and you want to switch, either domain or the company itself, then you can write working professional. If you're not able to find the poll, just type in the chat so that I'm able to see. So majority of the freshers and students works. Dhruv, can I release all the posts together or?
Yeah, you can do the next one. You can release the next one.
Okay, sure. So we are doing this poll analysis only for the purpose that I am able to I am able to present this session in a better way with the right kind of audience. So the second poll I'm launching is, so I'm repeating also. So, in the second poll, I'm just asking what is your goal. So the options are either you want to start working as a developer as a fresher, and the second one is you want to change your domain to software development. Let's suppose you are in some other domains and you want to from that domain to software development. And the third option is you want to upskill and get a better opportunity as an SD. You are working in a currently in a service based company or some other companies, and you want to upskill yourself and get a chance in the top tech product based companies. Okay, so this is the third and the last poll, which is your current preparation level. So the options are you are yet to start the preparation. So the second one is you are currently preparing, and third one is you prepared but you need some practice and some guidance just to the top of the level, and you prepared from your own or you prepared from any other channels. Okay, so students, freshers, change domain. No one is there who's changing the domain, upskill and get a better opportunity. Okay, yet to start, currently preparing. Okay. Okay, got it. I think Dhruv, we can start. I got a fair
Okay,
idea
perfect.
about the audience. So the audience is majority of the audience is either the freshers uh, or the people who are in some job who are means targeting the freshers or who are in some jobs. One or two people are there working in some other jobs and wanted to upskill themselves and move to better jobs. Okay. I, yeah. So we'll start with the presentation. So what we'll be covering this session is, so first I'll tell a brief introduction about me, and then I'll tell you the process to which if you follow, the chances of your cracking the interview will be much higher. And then I'll share what to prepare. Means in the internet, if you see, there are tons of resources for SD interviews, SD companies, and everything. See, but you don't need to follow everything. You just need a crisp of things, and that I will tell you in this session that what you need to prepare in a basic and significant way so that you are able to crack your dream product based company. Okay. And in the last, I'll tell you how I will help you to achieve this and how this long-term mentorship at Preplace work. And in the last, we'll take you of your all of your questions, whatever you are putting in this chat, or have unmute also your all of you, so you can speak also in the last, and then I'll take your all of your questions. Okay. So I think the agenda will be clear for every one of you. Okay. So here I'll give you a brief introduction about myself. So currently I'm working as an SD1 at Amazon, and I also did my bachelor's BTech in computer science from a tier 3 institute. So I know the pain point of tier 3 students, and they're not getting enough opportunities and not getting much companies at the campus and all. And so I did my BTech in computer science from a tier 3 college, and I graduated in the year of 2020. And then straight away I went for in computer science from IIT Dhanbad. And in the BTech also, my coding was good. So I prepared for this competitive programming, and I did also ACM ICPC, if you are aware. It is uh, a kind of programming Olympic kind of thing. So it's a worldwide challenge. You prepare from the institute and go from the regional, then India level and all, and the world level also. So I am the ACM ICPC regionalist there. And in Amazon also, I'm mentoring to full-time developers. So mentoring is something which is not new to me. In Amazon, I have been around 1.2 years, and I'm mentoring to full-time developers at Amazon. And I've also taken several interviews for developers at Amazon. So I have taken interviews where I have hired some people in my team. I have not hired some people in my team also, depending on them too. So I have a fair idea of how the interview process works at top tech product-based companies and what the interviewer wants in a candidate. So in this session, I'm just giving you a quick recipe of how you can perform better in the interview. Okay, so I am aware that the internet is full of the resources, but the information that is I am going to share you is not very easily possible because it is something which comes from the experience. Okay, so I'll share that with you all. So okay, so I'm sharing with you key how you can perform better in the interview. Anybody joining? Yeah, we'll tell for the interviews only. Okay, so why I'm saying this key hack the interview. Okay, so if you see, uh, people will say ki if you are preparing for an interview, is it possible to hack the interview? I'm saying yes, means you can control the flow of your interview. And how I'll tell you that. Let's suppose interview has three sections. Okay, so first is your, let's suppose the interview of top product based companies 1 hour. So introduction will be counted for 2-3 minutes. Then you talk about your projects or internships, and it will be ranges around 5 to 10 minutes. And then the main thing is that DSA round, and that will be for 40-50 minutes. So it will be a total interview of 1 hour. So how you can approach in each of the section in a better way so that your chances of getting selected will be higher. So I'm telling you, so let's suppose start from the introduction. So what people do is they think this is only introduction, what I need to prepare, I'll tell my name, I'll tell my college name, and it's enough. It's not. Means introduction is the place from where you have to control the flow of interview. Okay, so let's suppose in interview, uh, first of all, though, mention all the technical things only in interview. Some people, I have taken some interviews, and what people say, I am playing chess in my college. So you are giving a technical interview, so the interviewer expects everything in the interview from a tech basis. So the first thing is technical perspective only. Mention everything in the introduction. So let's suppose you mentioned your name. I mentioned my name is Adarsh Tiwari. I did my bachelor's and master's from here. What skills I gathered in the college? Let's suppose I started from competitive programming, then the projects that I made, it is from machine learning. So mention all the skills of the interviewer also. So the interviewer will be adjusted to your skills. Means he'll be aware, acha, these people have the knowledge of competitive programming. These people did DSA also. He works on machine learning also. He works on web development also. So mention all your skills that you acquired in your college. That is very important. And the last point is uh, close your introduction part from your strength. Let's suppose you made a wonderful project. Let's suppose you made a project like mentor mentee. Let's suppose you made a project like mentor mentee recommendation. It's a machine learning based project. Let's suppose in a college there are 500 students. There are 500 students in a batch, and you made a project in such a way that it's a mentor mentee project. Let's suppose you want to connect to a senior, and you made a project based on recommendation system based on the skills. So you want interviewer to take this key, the next discussion in the interview should be on this project. So what you can do is in the last you put that thing ki, sir, I'm preparing, means after your skills and all, I have made a project which is mentor mentee project, and this project intended to use the skill sets of the students and recommends the better mentor mentee relation. So now it's the interviewer's job to ask you that. He'll ask you what you did that, and how you made it, what are the challenges you face. So that's what, if you leave your introduction open ended na, then interviewer has all of your resume. Let's suppose you made 3 projects, and 1 or 2 are strong of them, and third one is not your strong project. Okay, and if you keep the interviewer open ended, then it might be a possibility that interviewer can pick the third project itself, and you are not confident in that. Then it becomes a problematic situation. Then in last you say ki I'll get selected if interviewer asks that my strong project, then I'll get selected. But it's not the case. So in introduction, it is a very important part. Here you have to mention your name, your college and all, what skills you gathered in your program, whatever is the program is, your in BSc, BTech, whatever the program is, and then close the introduction part with your USP. USP is unique selling proposition, means whatever your strength is. Suppose you are a competitive programmer, so mention that I'm a candidate master in code forces, I did 600 problems in lead code, and I am a 6-star at code chef. So it's interviewer's job to ask you for that. Okay, so you are molding your interview in a such a way that interviewer is going to ask you that questions, and you are prepared enough, because if you are mentioning a project, that means you are prepared enough for that project. Okay, so that's how you have to close your introduction part. Your name, your skills you gather, and one USP, that is your projects or anything you want to discuss next. So that will be 2 to 3 minute session, and for that introduction there. And let's pick the next thing, that is for projects and or internships. Let's suppose you are a college student, you are in final year, and you did some internship or you did some projects. Okay, and you mentioned that project or internship in the last of the introduction. Then interviewer will ask you uh, to uh, to give a brief introduction about a project. So how you will explain your project is very crucial. So there's a thing called star approach. Star approach means, as I'll type in the chat also this thing. S means situation. S means situation. T is task. A is action. R is result. Okay. So you have to explain your project in the star approach. Let's suppose you made that same project, that mentor-mentee recommendation system in your institute. So what you say ki, sir, in our institute, we have around 500, 600 students in a batch, and to connect with a senior, it is not possible for me to connect to the every senior. Okay. So what I made is, I made a recommendation system which recommends the accurate mentor to the mentee based on the skill sets they have. Okay, so that is the situation. Then task is, what are the tasks, that means what are the steps that you are taken, that you are going to take in making the project. So that is in overall you have to make. Then actions, what actions you have taken to make that. Let's suppose it is a ML product, so what data set you used, and what models you used to train that thing, how you clean the data and all. It depends on the project. If you are a web development project, what things you have made, what API you use, what frameworks you use, that comes into action. And the last thing is result. You have to tell interviewer that, let's suppose you made a application. So you need to tell ki, I made an application, and that application has 100 downloads or 1000 downloads or 10 downloads per day. So it's very important to quantify your work in an interview. So if interviewer get a number, then in his mind it clicks that, okay, he did something good. So in that way you have to mention your project. So from the star approach you have to mention it. And the thing is I'm saying is that state the impact of the project very clearly. Let's suppose you did an ML project. So in ML, what are the outcomes? There is precision, recall, F1 score, and all. If it is your application is how many downloads it is. If it is a page, how many clicks in it. So state the outcomes also in the project. Okay. And if possible, for one project, have a demo. If a project has a demo, then the chances of chances of uh, evaluating that project is much higher without a demo, because nowadays everything is there in GitHub. Okay, every project, if means 8 out of 10 every project's code is there in the GitHub. And if you did if you implemented some extra features in your project, then it might become easier for the interviewer to judge you ki, this candidate has some potential, he did on something on his own. And if you show a demo to the interviewer, from the demo he'll ask you some questions, and it will be clear for the interviewer also that he made this project on his own. Okay. So sometimes what is the case is, let's suppose you are an backend, you are targeting an SD role, and sometimes company, a guy is coming which has ML domain knowledge. Okay, so he doesn't know all these SDE all things, but he comes to take your interview. So what thing you need to mention in your what things um, you need to target in your project is, make a project, then mention all the tech stack that you are using it. Okay, let's suppose a ML guy came in a project, so he will ask you about the logic also. He doesn't know what are the frameworks you are using, he doesn't know what are the API calling you. So he'll ask you about the logic. Let's suppose this project has three approaches, you told, yeah, these are the three approaches that I encountered, and then two of them are not adequate enough for my project, so I pick the third one. Okay, so then he'll ask you, why you not pick these two, whether you counted the trade-off between these three approaches. Because in software engineering, every approach has a trade-off. Whether you pick A or B, everything has pros and cons. So so I'm just depicting this fact is, even though you are choosing A, you need to know the cons of not choosing B, or the pros of not choosing B. So he'll tell you interviewer ki, I have picked that approach because of this reason. So if anytime, if an interviewer is coming not from your background, not from the background that you are interviewing, then also you can give him the clear idea that, okay, whatever question he is asking, you are able to convey the right things to the interviewer. Okay. And many a times interviewers don't have the exact idea, because interviewers are also the person only. They don't know that, let's suppose you made a blockchain project. An interviewer doesn't work in blockchain anytime, so he doesn't know anything about blockchain. So what he'll do, he'll ask you about the logic of the project. Why you use this, why you not use this, what are the challenges you face. So there are some common questions and common things for your project that you need to prepare. Don't just prepare for your project I made the project, that's it. No, made the project, see all the tech stack used in it, see all the trade-offs that you pick. If you pick an approach A, what are the trade-offs that I'm not picking approach B. And from the experience that I'm getting, one candidate that I interviewed, he prepared a whiteboard kind of project. Let's suppose whiteboard project where people can come and write. Okay. So when you prepared these type of projects, so what interviewer thinks is, they try to relate this project with the existing tools in the industry. Let's suppose this is a Google Doc, right, where you come and write. So what questions I asked to the interview is that, is your project handle the case where multiple people can come at the same time and write? So these things you need to take care while you're preparing for a project. If your project is relatable to an existing service or tool in the industry, then you need to pick ki, haan, theek hai, whether you are taking care of the other features that the existing tool has. Because let's suppose the existing Google Doc has 20 features, and if your project has one or two features only, not a problem. But you should be aware of those 18 features that existing tool has. Because interviewer can ask, okay, let's suppose you build what I say, a social media clone app. Let's suppose you build a Flipkart clone app. So what interviewer can ask is, you build a basic website and all the things. But what interviewer can ask is, let's suppose what interviewer can ask is, is your app or this website can handle 1,000 people at the same time? Understand, right? So this will be the thing. So if you are building a social media app, then the interviewer can ask, is you did the load testing of it? Load testing is, sometimes, let's suppose you build an application, then you need to test. Approximately 100 people will come in your website. Then you need to test for it. If 100% people are coming to my website or app, then the app should not crash. So these things you need to prepare in the project. You just don't need to copy the project from somewhere and paste it, because interviewers, uh, 9 out of 10 times, he can find it out that you made that project on your own, or you are just copy pasting that project. So that's why I'm telling ki, make a project, note the tech stack of it, know the trade-offs of picking the approach A and not picking the approach B. And if there is some existing app or tool that exists in the industry, then try to see what feature that tool what tool has. And see, if you interviewer can ask let's suppose in your shopping app, that thing is not there. You can't serve the 100 people in a time. So interviewer can ask, let's suppose I'm giving you a task, you have to apply this, you have to make a modification in your project in such a way that your app can handle 100 people in the same time. So you need to tell ki ha, I know that thing and I'll do this thing to achieve this. So this completes your project section, and by this way, if you prepare for an interview now, the chances of getting rejected in an interview will be very less, because you know how to introduce yourself, you know how to uh, present your project also, you know how, what are the tech stacks you use, you know how, what are the trade-offs of all the things you use. So that's what, uh, as an interviewer, we want in a candidate. So many a times what people think is, interview is not a one-ended thing. Interview is the two-ended thing. What I mean by saying is, interviewer is also a person, and every interviewer wants to select the candidate. Let's suppose I'm taking an interview, I'm giving you a 1 hour time and all. I don't want to reject you in any time. I just want to select you, but I just want some adequate qualities in you also. So you have to take the interviewer as a friend and prepare your things in a way that interviewer can't reject you. Okay. So the way I told you, the introduction part and projects part, you have to if you are preparing in such way, then the chances of getting you selected is much higher. uh, from my experience, I'm telling you, because I have taken several interviews, I have given several interviews, and I know what people look when they are taking interviews. Okay. So I'm taking a pause here and take some questions, 2 3 questions. If for the introduction or projects part, if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself also, you can ask me those questions, or you can raise your hand. I'll take it if you have any questions from this introduction and project part.
There, Rajat had earlier asked a question about like projects and internships. So I think it is already covered. We can wait for a few more questions.
Okay, is there any more questions?
Selvam has asked.
So, okay, I do not have any such projects to showcase. Where can I start to get the ideas? Okay, so ideas you'll get in the internet. You can just type key real life projects you have to make. Okay, the projects that are solving the real life problems. The first tip is that. Okay, get the idea. If you are getting the code also in the net, it is works. But try to add 1 or 2 features on your own, and in that way your projects becomes unique for the interviewer. Okay, so get the idea. If you can implement it on your own, do it. If you can't implement it on your own, take the code of the existing code and try to add 1 or 2 features extra, and try to make a workable demo of it, so that in the interview you can tell your interviewer ki, I made this front end project and I just want to show you that project. And if you when you show your demo of the project, then interviewer will be pretty happy from you. Should we not keep any extra skills in our resume if we should we not keep any extra skills in our resume if we know the basics of the skill? I'm not getting your question, Karthik. Can you speak on the mic? If we have made the project ourselves, then the whole, you can explain that as well. What are the skills interviewer expect from freshers? So the skills that interviewer expects from freshers, you need to able to write a good code. Good code, why means is industry level code they expect, means you are writing a modular code, functional code. uh, if you have gone through the object oriented programming languages, then see, everywhere they define the class and write the code. In that way the interviewer wants you to write the code of the project, and they just want key you have basic problem solving skills. They are giving you a problem and you are able to think that solution. Many a times it will be the case that you are not able to solve the problem, and then also you are able to clear the interview, because you are thinking of the problem and you are setting 2 3 approaches, and interviewer will be impressed by the way you are thinking or approaching the problem. Can we show the project that we did in our academics? Yes, you can. Means uh, try to have one project in your CV see, in your CV you mentioned 3 or 4 projects, okay, many times 2, 3, 4. Try to make one project in your CV, means that need to be some kind of that need to be depict some kind of strength of yours, okay. It should have a workable demo. If it is, it's pretty good. If not, you know all the in and out of your project, everything, you know what services you use, what you know not use. You should also know what are the if the project is existing in the industry, what are the competitors, what are the features that the existing tool has, everything, you know. For one project you know everything. And how to how to state that project, I have told you in the introduction part. End your introduction with the mentioning of that project only. Let's suppose you made a project A, so end your introduction by the way, ki I have made that project, this is working, and then it's interviewer job to ask you about that project. So anyhow, if you have 3 4 projects in your CV, then the chance of interviewer asking this your project A will be much higher. What are the skills in the freshers, BCA? The skills will be same. See, if you are a BCA student, be any type of degree student, problem solving will be there. You are able to write clean and industry level code. Industry level, when I'm saying, is functional and modular code you are able to write. And that's it. I mean, these 2 3 things are required from the fresher. They're not required for more things. Okay. Okay, so I'm taking the session uh, how to crack aptitude round, which platform is best to learn. Okay, I'll take all your questions, but first we jump to the session once, and once we complete the session I'll take all of your questions. Okay, yeah. So the 2 things that are completed, introduction and projects or internships. If there's any doubt regarding that only, then you can ask. Introduction and projects part. Okay, so we are good to go. We'll start for the DSA part now. Okay, so this is the most important part when you are targeting a big tech MNCs. Okay, as a fresher or 1 2 year experience, also 2 3 years also, then DSA is the bread and butter. Okay, so how to tackle the DSA round? I am telling you. See, first thing, uh, keep that thing in your mind. Solving a question may or may not guarantee your selection. Means if interviewer is giving you a question, and if you are able to solve it, and you are thinking that I will be get selected, you may or may not, because solving a question is not the only thing that you need to do in a coding round. Okay, so what all things you need to prepare in the coding round, I'll tell you in the session. Okay, so the first thing is first of thing is ask clarifying questions. What does it mean? Let's suppose you have been given a question. You have given an array, and you have to sum the 2 numbers of the array in such a way you have to find a third number. It's a common to some problem if you have did some of the coding in your college or not. Okay, so what you need to do is you have to ask clarifying question. What does it mean? What is the scope of the array? If it is an array of numbers, array of integers, array of long integers. So if it is an array of integers, then the approach or complexity will be less. If the array of long integers, then the complexity will be more. So you'll have to ask the interviewer that thing. What is the range of the numbers here? Interviewer will not tell you. Interviewer will be giving you an open-ended question, and you'll have to ask interviewer. And by that way, interviewer will get a sense that this candidate has this thing. He's asking clarifying questions. And why this quality is essential is because in the industry, when we are getting a problem, we jump to coding only when all our requirements are clear. So the first thing that you need to do when the interviewer is giving you a problem, ask clarifying questions. Ask for constraints. What are the range of integers? Means what are the range of the numbers? Is there negative numbers or not? These things you need to ask. Okay. And sometimes for many of the companies, what is the case is many a times interviewer will only tell you ki in this round our agenda is I'll ask you 2 questions, and that's all. If you solve it, then it's good. Sometimes interviewer will not tell you. Then it's a good idea to ask interviewer what is the agenda of the interview. Means what are the things he's going to ask. Let's suppose he wanted to ask 2 questions, and you are doing first question is so slowly that the second question is not getting the time. Then mostly will be not selected in the interview. So it's better to ask the interviewer the agenda of the interview, because he is in the plan. and he'll tell you ki, I'll ask 2 questions, so you need to know ki in 1 hour or 45 minutes I need to do questions, so I'll be quick here. You should be prepared with your mind ki I'll be quick here. If he's telling I'll ask 1 question, you can go slow also, you can do it. Okay, so these 2 things: ask for constraints in the question, ask clarifying questions, ask the agenda of the interviewer if the interviewer is not telling you on his own. Okay, so first thing is this in coding interview. Second thing is, think of test cases. It's very, very, very important. People are not taking it. What people are doing is getting the clarifying questions, everything constraints is everything done, and they jump to the coding. It's a bad practice. So first think of test cases, write 2 3 test cases, and take care. For this test case, output will be this. For this test case, output will be this, and get a confirmation from the interviewer. Ki for this test case, I'm thinking the output will be A. For this test case, I'm thinking the output will be B. An interviewer will tell you, it is A, it is B. Then you are sure ki theek hai, whatever I'm thinking, it is correct. So think of test cases. And why I'm saying is, when you are thinking out of test cases, many a times you don't know the solution of the problem, but by looking of the test cases, you make some patterns in your mind. Yo, this is the pattern that is going to be followed here. Okay, so I'll take that pattern. So many a times you don't know the solution of the question, but when you write 4 5 test cases now, you'll get the pattern of the question and you are able to code it. So it will become a game changer for you when you write the test cases. Okay, and what I say in this only, you will have to share the edge cases also. When you share the edge cases with the interviewer will be happy ki this candidate have the potential to see the edge cases of the problem also. So interviewer wants you to solve the problem for all the cases. Let's suppose you solve for 90% of the cases, and for the 10% of the cases your problem is not able to handle the scenario, then the chance of getting rejected in an interview is 100%. Okay, so the first thing is ask clarifying questions. Second thing is think of test cases, share edge cases also with the interviewer. And the third tip that I want to share is think out loud. See, I'm taking your interview. I don't know what you are thinking in your mind if you are not speaking it. So think out loud. And in virtual interviews, use the screen to communicate your thought process. Why I'm saying is, let's suppose your interview is happening on Google Meet. So share a Google Doc and present your thought process. Okay, this is the array that I'm taking. These 2 pointers are there. 2 pointers are there. Means sharing your thought process is very important. And by this way, only interviewer got to know that this candidate has the ability to understand the question and tackling the approaches, whatever the approaches he might be thinking in his mind. So communicating your thought process is the most important skill in the coding interview or in the interview itself. You have to communicate your thought process because we don't know what is happening inside your mind. Okay, so these 3 things are there. Fourth is, let's suppose that for a problem you are getting 2 3 approaches, and you know ki out of these 2 3 approaches only one will work, and two approaches will not work for some of the cases. But tell this to interviewer ki I have this approach, this will not work because of this reason, this will not work because of this reason. Interviewer will be impressed from you ki this candidate has the ability to see all the approaches, and then he is picking the approach that is. So this thing is there, mention every approach that you are getting in mind. Okay, and all of when you do these 4 steps na, then you move to coding. Then you move to coding part. Ki, start coding and try to code the thing. And when you do these 4 things now, if there's anything that is incorrect in your thought process, interviewer can tell you that in this test cases time also, or when you are telling approach also. So it's better to do these things, because after these 4 things, it's highly probable that the approach that you are moving with ahead with it is correct. Okay, then you have to move to coding part. And in coding, what I'll suggest is, let's suppose if there's only one question in the interview, so try to give the brute force approach to the interviewer first. Okay, brute force approach, tell him the time complexity, and then interviewer will ask you if he wants some optimized solution, or he's happy with this solution only. Okay, if he's happy with this solution, you can code it. If he wants you to optimize it, then try to optimize that solution, and then code that optimized one only. Code in the interview means, my suggestion to you is, only start coding in the coding interview when interviewer is okay with your solution. Means you told the brute force, don't code it straight away. Ask the interviewer, you are good with it. should I start writing code? He'll tell you, ki, I want one optimized approach with this time complexity. So go for that approach once, and then when you get that approach, then try to code it. And the last tip, while I have this, ki, while coding na, try to explain the code to the interviewer. It's very important, because first of thing is it will save time. Let's suppose you write the code first, you write all the code, then you are explaining, the time is taking twice. When you are writing only, then explain the code, everything. You are initializing array, I'm initializing this array for this reason, using this for loop to do this. Explain everything in the code. What are the benefits? You are saving your time. Second benefit, if there's anything, if there's anything wrong you are doing in your implementation, you got to know when you are explaining. Yeah, I was thinking A, but when I'm coding, I'm doing this B things. We should not do it. Means you get the idea when you are explaining something. So try to explain the code while you are coding only. Okay. So these things you need to do for an interview. And some things which are very important is naming conventions and meaningful variable names. And what I mean from this is, I'll write in the chat. Let's suppose you have a function. There are two functions I'm writing. Okay. Mhm. Okay. One is this, return type is integer and function name is get max value. So in C++ and Java, the function name should be in the camel case. Means the first character would be in small case, and then from the second word, the first character will be in the big case. Like, okay, G is small, then max, M is capital, V is capital. So in this way, you have to write the function name. Then in the parameters also, you have to define this way. And let's suppose the candidate A defines the function in this way. Let's suppose the candidate B is also there. He defines the function in this way. This one. Int function, int A, B. Okay. Interview will not get the idea what is function is doing, what is A, what is B. So if you are using these approaches now, int func, int A, B, means your chances of getting rejected in the interviewer will be much higher than selection. Okay. So you have to use the correct names, meaningful variable names and all in the interview. And the second thing is modularity of the code. Someone asked me in the question in the chat that what are the skills that interviewer looking in the freshers. So you have to write the modular code. What modular code is? Let's suppose your program is doing three tasks: task 1, task 2, task 3. So you have to divide these tasks. Task 1 has a separate body of code, task 2 has a separate body of code, task 3 has a separate body of code. Let's suppose your program get extended in future and the task 1 is reusable, then you can reuse that task. You don't have to write the code. That's why functions are made in the programming language. So you have to write the modular code. Okay. So these things are very important in the coding interview, and people think, yeah, I have solved the problem, but I didn't get selected. These are the reasons you are not getting selected, because you are using the naming conventions wrong. You are not writing the modular code. You are not uh, asking for the constraints. You are not writing the test cases. These are the things that are very important for an interview, and what people ignore. They think that solving the problem will uh, guarantee their selection, but it's not. You have to do the things in the structured way to get selected. Okay. So I think this DSA round will be done, and let's move to next slide. What to prepare, I'll cover just quick. I'll quickly care. So internet is full of resources, you all know that. Okay, we have plenty of resources now, but what I'm saying is you need to focus on these top three things only. One is DSA. Second is, if you have done any internships, focus on internships. And if you have done projects, 2-3 projects will be good. And out of these 2-3 projects, one will be your good project. These remaining two will be okay, will work, but one will be your good project. And that one project you will always mention in the intro part of it. Okay. And the CS fundamentals are required. In CS fundamentals, we are heavily dependent on object-oriented programming, DBMS, operating system, and computer networks. Computer networks might not be useful for everyone, but these three, hoops, DBMS, and OS are required for everyone. Then system design is the thing. It is not required for every MNC, but some MNCs might ask you some questions. Okay, so this is not at the thing that is going to be required for every SD1. So these three things you need to prepare: DSA, projects, internship, CS fundamentals. Okay. And now I'll tell you how I'll help you, how I'll help you in DSA, how I'll help you in other aspects. So DSA, see, if you have gone to the lead code and GFG, you'll see there are 2000, 3000 problems in DSA. It's not possible for you to solve all the problems till the time. Let's suppose you take in 1 year to solve this 2000 problem, then the next year you'll get 1000 problem more. Then at that lead code, you'll have 3000 problems. So it's not possible to solve all the problems. So what I will suggest to my mentee is, find the patterns in the problem. I have find some patterns. I'll share my screen to that. Just a moment. Let me know if you are able to see these patterns in the DSA. So these are the patterns. 2 pointers is a pattern. So for every pointer, I ask my interviewee to solve 4 5 problems for every patterns. And let's suppose it's 24. If you are solving around 200 problems of that patterns, you are good to go for most of the tech MNCs companies, and you don't need to solve these 2000 3000 questions anyhow. Okay, you need to solve only 250 300 questions initially, but when you have the grip of it, you can solve more also. Okay, so you don't need to do all of the question that exist in code forces. Code forces is also done, code chef is also, no, solve the programming question in the pattern wise. So let's suppose you have solved 5 questions from 2 pointers. Okay, so when the 6 questions from 2 pointers is coming in an interview, now you'll get the idea that in those 5 questions I'll use this logic. So you'll get a clear idea. When you are getting a question, you'll map the question from the existing patterns and you are able to solve it. So by this way only, if you are getting a new problem also, you're able to provide the solution to the interviewer. So this is my approach for the patterns in DSA. Means for covering the DSA, these are the patterns, and you need to solve the questions by going through the patterns only. You are not going to solve it in the ad hoc way. Let's suppose today we'll do a array problem, tomorrow we'll do linked list also, tomorrow do one tree problem. It will not work. Okay. So one thing is this, and the second is projects. Yeah. So in DSA, I'll teach you patterns of questions, and I'll give you the questions also, what you need to prepare. So it will be a question of 200, 250 questions. And from those questions, you will be good to go for most of the product-based companies. Okay. And then for projects, I've shared you the crisp how you'll have to explain your project to the interviewer, and I'll discuss one-on-one with the projects or internships. Okay. And the CS fundamentals, I'll give you the resources and list of the questions. So many of you may not be from the computer science background, so they're not aware of the concepts. So for those, I'll give you the resources also. And if you are from CSE also, I'll give you only the list of the questions that you need to prepare. Okay. Then the fourth one is mock interview. So when I feel that you are ready, I'll take your mock interviews and I'll provide you the referrals also. So in pre-place, we have a community of mentors. So from every company, we have some mentors. Okay. So we'll try to refer you in any of the companies that you want to be hired. Okay. So I'm just not taking much time. I'll explain you in this quick time these things, how I can help you here in one-on-one long-term mentorship. So this is first process. You book a trial session with me, and I'll understand your needs and problems in your preparation journey. Okay. See what you are, where you are, what are your target company, what you need, how much time you need. We'll decide there, and then I'll try to formulate a plan for you, and then we'll have a regular weekly interaction, and on a call or chat also, and in the meeting also. Okay. And then when you are placement ready, I'll refer you in the companies and get the job for it. And many a times you see people are not getting shortlisted also. Then I'll tell you where you need to change in your CV, where you need to make change in approaching people also, that the chances of getting you selected or shortlisted in the company will be higher. Okay. So these are the things. Like LTM part 1 is the preparation stage. So if you are in the preparation stage, many of the students are, I have asked in the poll also. So what I'll do, based on your needs, based on your current situation and needs, I'll formalize a roadmap for you, and then we'll do resume preparation, review sessions, and then I'll give you the resources and all. and we'll have a, sometimes I'll teach you also some concepts, sometimes you have a doubt also, then I'll give you a doubt session also. Okay, so the part 2 is interview stage. This happens when you are ready for the interview, you have prepared the questions, you are done with the projects. This is the stage where I'll give you some company specific guidance. Every company have some different type of things that they will ask. Every company is not same, the coding round is different, the pattern is different. So I'll give you some company specific guidance, then I'll give you some application process guidance ki how to apply for it, how to go for referral for it, and then I'll give you some separate tips and tricks. I believe whatever the things I've told you in introduction part, projects part, DSA part, you can't find a video in the internet for that, because these things comes from experience only. These are not the things that you get to see from a video and just you come up and you state it in the video. It's not. Okay, so then we'll move ahead with your mock interview. I'll take your mock interviews also. Okay, you are ready for the interview, and then the more things. It's okay. And yeah, so the one thing I just want to mention, yeah, if I just want that these things from a mentee is, if you are eager to learn, if you are committed for the uh, if you are committed for the preparation, so I'll be there with you till the time you get placed. Okay, so now we'll move for Q&A. I Yeah. So is there anything from the session from the DSA round first? I just need to ask. I'll take those doubts first. Is there anything from the DSA round or projects part, introduction part? Can you provide us the pattern list? Yeah, sure, sure. I'll provide. I'll provide. How to solve the hard problems? Okay. So before solving the hard problems, solve the easy and medium ones first. Okay. And when you are solving the easy and medium ones problem, you are getting the patterns on of it. This medium problem is consist of this topic problem is consist of this. Then you are getting the gist. If you are in starting only you are solving the hard problem, the chances are you are not able to solve the hard problem. And if you are able to solve the hard problem also, it will take you 1 or 2 hours to solve it. So try to tackle first easy and medium ones, then go for hard ones. Can we mention hobbies in resume introduction? You can mention in resume like playing chess, but not mention in the introduction part, because you are giving interview for a tech role. Okay, so mention all the qualities that you have in tech only. It's better. Is DSA necessary for front end development? See, MNCs don't hire for explicitly for front end or back end. SDs do both the jobs, front end also, back end also. So you need to have DSA skills if you are targeting top tech product based companies. Without DSA, you can't be there. How to improve thinking optimized approach? How to improve thinking optimized approach for a problem? Okay, so for first you need to solve the brute force approach of it and see the constraints of it. Okay, by seeing the constraints only, you will get key this problem have this much of complexity. And if the interviewer expects you to solve this question in the less time of less means complexity, then try to see if any data structure is suiting your needs. Many a times the basic data structure that we are taking is not able to fill up our needs. Many times hash map, filter, any other data structure available, to try to find some different data structure that will suit your needs. So by this way, and the gist of the questions, gist of the optimized questions or hard question is, try to solve more and more questions. So here in this session, I'll cover I'll give you 250 questions. Okay. But 250 questions are in such a way that you are ready for the interviewer. But for the getting the confidence, sometimes you need to solve 50 more questions or 100 more questions. So that as an interview, you need to do. Okay. Which pattern is best to solve problems like hackering? Lead code, it's best. And whatever the questions I'll giving you in the patterns are from all are from the lead code link only. And if any of you have personalized doubt, you can book this one-on-one my trial from me. I'm pasting the link here. Just a minute. Okay, I have pasted the link. If any of you have any of your personalized doubts, you can book a trial session with me and we'll talk for that. Okay. And how to tackle the situation. If you don't know SQL, is it necessary to learn more? It's necessary. SQL is not very important thing, but it won't take much time to learn SQL. Okay. And is it necessary to mention it in resume? No, it don't. Okay. Is the pattern list differ from main topics, or this pattern list for all the? This pattern list covers all the topics that you need to cover the top tech product based companies. Okay. How to maintain the consistency? For maintaining the consistency is try to make a target of daily 2 3 questions. Okay. Ki, हाँ, whatever be the situation, whatever be the college situation, exam is going, internship is going, whatever the case, I'll solve 2 questions daily. By that only you'll maintain the consistency. If the interviewer asks about the salary and what is the good answer for that, okay. So what I'm telling you is, see, in big companies there's a band. Okay, let's suppose you are interviewing for SD1 at Microsoft or Google or any other company. They have a band of it. Let's suppose the lowest of band is L and H is high. Okay, so they'll try to move you between the band only. If you are, let's suppose your current package is 5 LPA and the band of SD1 at Microsoft starts from 20 to 40. So the bare minimum that they will give you is 20 LPA. They'll not give you 15 also. Okay, you are getting 5, I'll give you 15. No, they'll put you in the band. So how I'll suggest my mentees is, okay, try to ask some people, try to ask your mentor, try to ask some people in the company that what is the band for that company, and always try to have your salary expectation in the mid of the band. Let's suppose 20 is the lowest of the band and 40 is the highest of the band. Then try to ask, yeah, I want 25 30 in the salary negotiation. So it will be a realistic expectation now. Okay. Okay, how to get my MTech student from institutes and what more? Okay, so I did my MTech from IT ISM only, and see, you'll get plenty of opportunities. So I got many opportunities. I have given several of interviews, got selected in many also. So you just don't need to do any means big things. Just prepare what I shown in the slides and all, and just if in your college, if you're coming in ISM, 200, 300 companies are coming every year, so you are sorted, man. You will get placed. Just prepare all the things and companies are coming to hire you. Okay. How to speak in group discussion without nervous as a see, uh, these are the things you you should be nervous first time, second time, third time, fourth time. With experience, this nervousness will get settled. Okay. So nervousness will go when you are able to do this first time, second time, third time, and fourth time. Then in later point of time, you will get less nervous. Okay. So these things will be there anytime. System design resource. So system design is one resource that I can share is grokking the design interview. I am sharing the link here. Grokking the design interview, but it is only for the people who are experienced, and the people who are targeting some not for SD1 role, SD2 and all. Okay, grokking the system, grokking the design interview. It is much better than Gaurav Sen. Okay, so Gaurav Sen, you can watch it, Gaurav Sen also, but you can see this grokking the design interview. It's great. What you are saying, others, what full stack will make me stand out if I have it in my resume? Okay, so what full stack? See, it doesn't matter what project you choose. It matters how you implemented that project. See, you will in from a fresher or a experience from 1 or 2 years. No one expects you to solve a problem that is not solved till now. You are going to solve a problem that is existing, that is not. The way you solve it is important. The approaches you use and the trade-offs you use, that is important. So pick any problem, but try to solve the problem in a better way and also have a workable demo. Then your project will be stand out. Is cracking the coding interview book problems enough? I don't think, means solve the problems from lead code only. Okay, cracking the coding interview is written means I have purchased that book in my bachelor's also, but I have not gone through it. But see, I have told you ki solve the questions from the patterns and from the lead code, you'll be good to go in coding rounds in every company. Okay. What the company expects from is the expectation same for all the, yes. If you're getting hired from the campus, then expectation will be same only. Is there any question that I'm missing? Can you, means if anyone's question missed out, can you please re- repost it? I'll check. Dhruv, are we missing any questions? Hmm. Okay, you want pattern list. So I'll share that. Yeah, I've shared that pattern list. Okay. I've shared that pattern list. How to tackle the situation? Uh, okay, so I'll, how to crack Google or Microsoft. That's thing is same. See, uh, Microsoft, Amazon, and everything is same. Google is asking the coding questions, means they ask 2 questions in 45 minutes. So your speed should be higher enough in Google, but in Amazon and Microsoft, you should be moderate enough in speed in coding. Okay, so in Google they want ki they'll give you questions, you give the optimized approach and code it first, solve it, and the second question also they'll give you question, and you'll have to solve it in the 20 to 25 minutes. That's it. So in Google, they only ask coding. They don't ask projects. They don't ask your internships and all everything. They don't. They just only ask you coding questions. Okay. How I give my introduction? Well, so I have covered these things. Means introduction part. If possible, you can give me your introduction here. I'll correct you that. Akshay, I'll correct you whatever you are doing wrong in your introduction part. Introduction is very important. Means it is molding your interview in a particular direction, and you can hack the interview by the way, by the process that I shared in this session. Okay. uh, how to tackle the situation when the question asked by interviewer is not known to us? Yes, so that's what I'm saying. Key, try to write the test cases. For this test case this will be the output, for this test case this will be the output, and try to find the pattern in the test case. If you're finding any pattern and all, and interviewer are there to help you. If you're not getting any idea, try to ask for some hint from the interviewer. He'll give you some hint, and try to move ahead from the hint also. So many a times when you do this, you'll get some idea, and try to code the brute force one. If you're not getting the optimizer, no problem. Try to code the brute force only. Many a times people solve only the brute force and get selected, because the interviewer is able to see your text cases approach, is able to see how you are thinking and all. You have to think loud. You have to, while writing the code, you have to speak also. These things are mentioned, means is important. And every problem you can't do it, so you don't expect ki I will go in interview and every problem that is going to ask that will be means previously covered for me. That is not the case. Okay, you will getting new problems. You have to map those problems in the existing patterns and try to solve it. Where should I start my introduction in an interview? Details in my resume or start my introduction? I'm not means got the exact question, Karthik. Where should I start my introduction in an interview? Details in my resume or outside? See, introduction, interviewer will ask you to introduce yourself. You have to introduce at that time in the beginning of the interview only. Okay. If you have any doubts, any things you want to cover me in person, or you want to see ki where you are and what time, means how much time it will take to you to get to your dream company, you can connect to me one-on-one. Free trial session is there. You can book it and just connect with me. I'll share the link. For the CS one, should I read the books or the medicine notes? Don't need to read books and all. Means if you are from the CSE branch, you know most of the concept. Just go from the questions and all. I'll give you top 50 or 100 questions. You need to go through it and just know the basic concepts. It will work. Okay. And you all can connect me LinkedIn also. I'll share my LinkedIn link with you. Just connect with me LinkedIn. Okay. I am Surya Pratap Singh. I am from Uttarakhand. I have completed my schooling from UK board. And okay, so you are giving the interview. See, I'm Surya Pratap Singh. I'm from Uttarakhand. That is good. Don't need to mention I'm schooling from this UK board with 70%. Nothing matters to interviewer. Just mention your degree that you completed your BSc from this and MCA from this. And in skills, try to showcase the technical skills. See, interviewer are there to judge you on the tech perspective. See, everyone can showcase them ki I am hardworking, I am flexible, I am adaptable to any situation. You have to showcase them in that interview. Okay, so try to maintain the skills in your introduction are in the tech perspective only. Ki I have done machine learning in my bachelor's, I did web development, I am proficient in coding, I did this contest, let's suppose you attended a conference, I attended this conference, I practice for research internships and all. So try to mention the tech perspective things in your introduction. Why you only to what? Sir, my mind when any coding question is asked, I can solve and debug alone, but difficult to do in front. So that's what Shivam means. Mock interviews are there for that only. When you give mock interviews, now you'll get to handle the pressure of it. The person is there in front of you, and means I remember for myself also, I am able to solve the question alone. But when I'm giving an interview in the front of interviewer, I forget how to solve this question, and I stuck in the middle also. So that's what the mock interviews comes into picture. Okay. So try to no, I'm not saying ki book a mock interview from the mentors only. Try to make your friends. Okay, 2 3 friends. Try to make a group in the college, 4 friends groups, and take one-on-one mock interviews for everyone. Pick a question, ask that question, and try to solve it. Okay, so that's what why you there are some problems when you do now in trees you'll means go depth by depth. That's why it's mentioned DFS of trees. There are some specific problems in that Raj. You will see when you go ahead in DSA. Sir, could you introduce yourself as a fresher? So I'll say ki, hi everyone, I'm Adarsh Tiwari. I did my BTech in computer science and engineering from IRT Allahabad. And in the first year I did and in the first year I started with the coding part, and in the second year I moved to web development. Okay, and in the third year I pursued my machine learning and pursued some projects in machine learning. And currently I'm here. Currently I have made a project which is the recommendation system, and this project will do that. So you have to mention all the skills that you encountered in your degree. You have to mention your flow of the transaction in an interview. What you did in your means not especially what you did in second year, third year, first year, but uh, please mention what you did in your college. Some 2 3 skills mention. Okay, so that will help. Is the interview pattern and the kind of questions asked generated differ based on the region? So you say no, no, no. I've taken several outside also. No, it doesn't matter. Also, the mentorship you have is only for freshers. It's for everyone. Means experience also. If you're targeting SD1 role, your 1 year, 2 year experience, and for the information, I'm mentoring two full-time developers at Amazon, which both have 2 3 years of experience. Okay, they joined Amazon recently. I'm mentoring Amazon. Okay, so that's it. Is the companies ask more deeply basic theory questions? More deeply basic theory questions? No, no. It depends on the interviewer. So interviewer, companies will not give questions to the interviewer. Okay, interviewer decide on their own ki these questions need to be asked. They decide the complexity. Means if there's SD1, they'll the questions will be in medium to hard only, medium and hard. Sometimes it's easy also, but they don't try to ask only basic questions. How to crack aptitude round means aptitude rounds needs to be prepared. Okay, so there are some plenty of websites from which you can prepare. I forgot the name, but there are some websites. So when in college I was there, I was some companies ask aptitude in the coding rounds. On the in that these selection round means in the shortlisting rounds also. So for that, which platform is best to best means if you search means best aptitude preparation site. There is some website I forget the name of it, but that's the only one. Should I mention small projects in CV or not? If you have one or two good projects, then mention the small projects also, no problem. If you have only small projects only in the CV, then try to make one good project. Okay. I'm not aware of Yamaha. Means I'm aware of Yamaha, but I'm not aware of if is Yamaha is considering SD roles and all. I'm not aware of that. Is aptitude round there in big tech giants? For the shortlisting round, there may be the case, but it's very basic. It's very basic. How to Yamaha is coming on campus. From which campus? How to create resume in professional. You'll get plenty of the videos in the internet if you search ki how to create a good resume and all. You'll get the idea. Okay, cool shit. I am not aware if they are hiring SD. Okay. I think we are good. If there's any more doubts,
Yeah, I think there are no more questions. Raj has again asked.
can we use Microsoft Word for resume in those big companies? Yes, yes, yes. No problem. Do you mentor? No, no, no. I don't mentor senior software engineer roles as well. But if you are having 1 to 2 years or 3 years experience, yeah, I can mentor you. No problem.
I think,
What is
yeah,
the difference between senior and
yeah.
not senior role in SD? Senior are the people who do codings also and design also. So design of the systems are done by senior SDs, and the implementation parts are done by junior SDs. How I prepare? See, company wise preparation will differ to company on company, and you can book a trial session. I'll get to know ki what I'll then let you know ki what Accenture will ask and all, because every company it might not be possible for anyone to have the idea ki Accenture will ask. Okay, I am just showing ki how you can go on pre-page and book a trial session. Just it is that works through, right? uh,
Yes, yes, that will work. That will work.
so you'll go to app.preplace.in. This is the through is the screen visible.
Yes, yes, your screen is visible.
So here you'll go. You can type anyone's name. Let's suppose you're on with me. You go to my profile, and then you can do try free trial today, and it will book. Okay. So that's how you can book for any of the mentors you want. If you want only MAANG mentors, you want data science, engineering, data science, business, anyone, you can take it. Okay. So by that way, it will work.
All right then. Okay, cool then. Thank you. I think we can end the session now. Thank you so much, Adarsh, for your time. It was like it was a wonderful session, and like even on the chat, it was very responsive. So thanks a lot for your time. Thank you all for joining in. We will be sharing the recording of the session as well. And you will also get the PPT that that Adarsh has prepared. So yeah, we can end the session now. Thank you, Adarsh.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks
All right.
everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. Bye. Bye.